What's up, guys? Welcome back to WCS America. Of course, if you're just now joining us, we're in the middle of a pretty intense series here. We're tied 1-1 in the first match of the evening. We got plenty more matches to come, so you got plenty of StarCraft 2 ahead of you. Awesome day, StarCraft.
That's right. So far, it's 1-1 between MacSed and the STC. STC taking on game number 1 with just some great play. In game number 2, MacSed pulls out the Phoenix Colossi combination. Really makes it work. You don't see that combination every day. We saw it from Hello Kitty a couple times. We've seen it from MacSed actually before in Challenger League as well. So
it's hard, man. It's one of those strategies you see the pros use. And you're like, oh, I'm going to try that. And then it's like everything goes wrong because you just don't realize how hard Phoenix are to control. I mean, me as a Protoss player, I love just having one death ball, one spellcaster, right? In the early game, it's a sentry. All I have to do is hit force field, and at the end of the game, it's Templar. I kind of get rid of the sentries as the game goes on. Yeah, I don't need those. Just so I still have I only have to worry about the High Templar, right? But when you're going Phoenixes, like, again, you have to, worry about force field with the sentries. You have to worry about positioning. Phoenixes are stupidly fast, which, again, it can be a downfall, in a sense. Because, again, fast units are harder to control. And then, of course, later on, once High Templar are mixed in, if they are, that can get equally as tricky. So, really cool play there from MacSed. This series can definitely go either way. So as I introduce our players here on Belshir Vestige, we're tied 1-1. The winner of this will advance to the winner's match of the group. Again, top 2 of the group go to WCS Premier League America Season 2. Third place goes to Challenger League Season 2. Fourth place is out of WCS America and must try to re-qualify. But here we are in the bottom right-hand location. Your blue Protoss player hailing from China and representing Team Invictus Gaming. He is MacSed. His opponent in the upper left of Belshir Vestige, your red Terran player representing Team Complexity. Remember, he got all the way to the round of 16 of the Premier League before falling to Moonglade and getting third in his group. Trying to win this to advance to the winner's match of this group, he is the STC.
you know what? He's saying that first game went pretty well.
Yeah.
Second game, my one base build has put me a little bit too far behind a unit count.
Yeah.
Couldn't defend that massive attack. So let's go back to what I did the first game.
Solid logic.
Yeah, Command Center first. Probably the most solid of all TVP openers, along with the Reaper Expand. But Command Center first is one of those things where, like, for you guys at home, if you want to do a Reaper Expand, you have to be so on top of controlling the Reaper. Because you're delaying your expansion, you're delaying your economy for the sake of having perfect information with the scouting. But you only get that perfect scouting information if you're really good at controlling the Reaper. So Command Center first is like a great build just because you don't have to worry about doing anything fancy. You just get Command Center first, you get a bunch of Marines, you make sure your defense is solid, and you just keep macroing.
Make sure you don't die to any silly all-ins.
Yes.
It's pretty important. That's probably the most important part of the Command Center first, because obviously it's a greedy play. It is a greedy play. You're going for the fastest Command Center possible, which means you're delaying other things, right? You're delaying getting your production facilities down. You're delaying your tech. Whereas the Protoss player here, MacSed, we're seeing he already has 2 gases, Gateway, Cybercore, no Nexus first from him. So MacSed is going to have an advantage in every sense of this game, except economy.
Corona boosting out that Stalker, so this is a situation where the SCV...
Supply is kind of funny, by the way, but go on.
Yeah, it is. There's no SCV scout from STC quite yet. In the other game, he SCV scouted much earlier in game number 1. This game, he's just building the bunker kind of blind, which is very smart because many times you don't need to bunker if your opponent goes for the fast Nexus, but in this case, MacSed, getting a Zealot, Chrono boosting out Stalker, getting a second Stalker, is looking to put on some pressure with the Zealot Stalker on the Super Core combo.
He is indeed. Now, it could be a situation where he tries to run by, and now there's no supply depot wall at the ramp leading to the natural expansion. So he could potentially just try to run by the bunker, go straight into his opponent's main base. All his opponent is going to have are Marines against the Zealot 2 Stalkers and the Mothership Core. If MacSed micros that well, it can be very difficult for the Terran player. But again, you have to make that guess. Okay, is he walled off, right? In between his main and natural, and that's a pretty risky move. SCV going along the left-hand side, which is really cool. Of course, looking for proxy buildings. Going to scout the natural. Sees the Stalker just run on by, ignoring his SCV. So he might have a gander that something's up.
Mothership Core is now entering the main base. 2 Marines are there to greet it. They're going to actually push that away. He's going to try to... No, it sees the Marines and knows, you know what? I maybe take out 2 Marines, but in the process, and the third and the fourth would pop out, take my Mothership Core out. It's not worth losing that. Scouting a Stargate with SCV, a very, very, very important scout from the STC.
I'm so surprised MacSed allowed that. I feel like there's a lot of indecision there from MacSed. At first, I think he thought, okay, I'm going to be aggressive with my Zealot and 2 Stalkers, because we saw that Stalker just run by the SCV. He wasn't worried at all. But then he decided to pull it back, checked into the main of his opponent to see what was up, and then, just never ended up engaging. So STC definitely getting the better end of this game so far as scouting is concerned, and getting away with that early, economic build.
That's right. I mean, it's one of those situations where when you do this Zealot 2-stalker opening, you're kind of hoping your opponent delays their bunker. And we've seen games that end because you get there, the bunker's halfway done, you kill the SCV, and then, of course, you kill a whole bunch of SCs. But once that bunker completes, it's very hard to get damage done. I mean, he was trying to distract, hoping enough Marines would walk into main and get something done. But as soon as you try to run past the bunker, those units can sometimes be trapped and killed.
You got the recall.
This is true. This is true. You do have the recall, but you don't really want to use that.
Yeah.
So early.
Have photon overcharge a little bit later on. But again, if you know your opponent's expanding so fast, I don't know. A lot of things you can talk about.
Oracle's now crossing the map.
It is.
But there are 6 Marines in the main base waiting for it. So as long as they're a microed well, they should be able to keep that Oracle at bay.
Yeah. Also a turret underway. I'm not sure exactly where that guy is, but I do see it in the production tab. As Marcus does the search. There it is in the natural expansion mineral line. Making sure to keep those oracles away, and a second oracle being added on as well, which is a little bit interesting because every investment you make into the Stargate, again, you're further delaying, your Colossus, your Storm, in a game where the STC hasn't really had much trouble, getting his devices down, getting that natural down, getting his production going, getting those upgrades up. And we're in a situation where Stim is about 70% of the way done, Starport is on the way. So I wonder how much damage MacSed is trying to do here.
MacSed is chrono boosting his gateways back at home. We just saw that. He's went up to 3 gateways before adding additional assimilators or row facilities.
So oracles.
It looks like he's going to put on a little bit of attack here. A lot of gateway units being warped in. A proc spot on the top right.
Oh, the bunker. The bunker. SCVs aren't pulled. STC completely unprepared. The time warp going down. The bunker will end up falling. Great pickoff there from MacSed. Nothing more to defend here. The SCVs trying desperately to run, but time warp slowing them down. No sentries here to force field these SCVs, to force field this ramp. Ooh, an Oracle getting taken out there. But Stalkers need to be careful. Stalkers need to be careful.
That's a lot of
time warp.
Marines.
Don't know what he's trying to accomplish with that.
Yeah, I think he meant to put it on the ramp so he can focus down this orbital, but as is, I think he's going to get the orbital if he gets that. Oh, but he didn't want to risk having the Stalkers stuck there.
He can't recall here, so the Stalkers have to be careful. Stim is done. He's going to stim forward, target down the Mothership Core, going to take that out. Time warp going down. The Stalkers, they need to get out of here, I think.
He's going to just try to micro it. There's not that many bow units. There's more Stalker reinforcements coming in. And there's no medevacs to heal the stim damage. The units are
orbital. One SCV desperately trying to be a hero, keep that alive, calling 2 of his buddies over to help repair that.
This is a lot of damage being done here.
It is. Look at the supply. 64 to 48. MacSed looking so good in this game. More Marauders getting out here. So STC keeps saying, get out of here, man. But another pylon being added on. And again, behind this, MacSed is transitioning. He has been. Remember, as this push is happening, he's putting a 3rd and 4th gas down. You never do that if you're trying to all in. So again, proceeding with his tech, proceeding with the game as planned. Just trying to get as much damage possible done here. But STC is able to preserve that orbital command, which is very important.
The medevac's out now. We're seeing STC utilizing some great kiting skills, but there's still not that many buy units. Stalkers are picking them off, but there's only a few Stalkers left with the medevacs over ahead. MacSed may have to back away here or risk losing his entire force.
Gosh, remember how many Stalkers he started with? I think he's going to end up losing all of them. Do you think MacSed overextended a little bit there?
He may have this overextend just a little bit. When there's stim but no medevacs, you can often do some cool micro moves. You just try to keep stalling out the fight to make them stim to death. But as soon as those 2 medevacs entered the battle, it kind of went downhill. But look at that, a Void Ray coming into the Stargate. Immortal Void Ray going towards Colossus. MacSed wants to get every single unit. It's like the Noah's Ark of Protoss build. 2 of each. We saw 2 Oracles.
I kind of like it.
Now maybe we'll get 2 Void Rays.
The Oracle, the Stalker's breaking every rule, but I guess we can forgive them. But, I feel like this Void Ray is just like a safety Void Ray. He doesn't want to die, and Void Rays are pretty much good against anything if you're trying to preserve your life and not die to a counterattack. 2 fake medevacs coming up here. Militia Core does not have enough energy for Photon Overcharge.
And units walking to the natural now. The medevac's distracted him enough. There's some probes are going to go down, but there's not enough units from STC to really do serious damage to that MacSed.
Oh, taking down a couple sentries here. Oh, that's actually pretty huge. MacSed a little bit, a little bit off with his control there. Nice little medevac bait there in the main base from STC.
Really clever move there.
Yeah, and now we have, an even game, in my opinion.
It's looking very even. I mean, MacSed has a few more workers than its opponent. He's up by a small amount. He's got decent tech as well. He's got going for. Not going for Phoenix this game, just going for the Colossi tech by themselves with a single Phoenix.
The Marines Runner stimming forward, targeting on the Colossus, going to be kiting away Zealots. They don't have charge or anything, so they're going to be hanging back there. And Immortal getting in on the fun. Phoenix trying to get some damage done. STC continuing to continue to try to kite, but that's not going to work here. It's too much Protoss. Don't want to engage this.
You know, these units are getting very low as well.
They are.
Significant amount. He's actually trying to chase again, but with the Void Ray and the Phoenix and Immortal there.
He sees those really weak Zealots, and he's like, all right, one more. Back to him.
Now he's backing away, and we see Phoenix production being resumed, so we may see another Phoenix Colossi combination from MacSed.
Yeah.
Both players on 2 bases. This time, though, a much faster second starport being added in by the STC, almost simultaneously with that 3rd command center.
Heads up move, but we still have a pylon, a proxy pylon in the top right. A couple of units going to be warped in there, so we'll keep an eye on that as that Zealot marches forward to deny that. Marauder's still trying to apply pressure to this natural expansion. Oh, wow. He saved a Marauder with like 1 HP by picking it up in the medevac.
Cute little move here, but the Phoenix is harder to retreat as they'll pick off units as the retreat goes on, and Colossi range is almost done.
Oh, he's going to try to split up his units and go for this force field going down. Some Vikings joining in on the fun as well. I'm not sure who's going to come out on top here. The Protoss looking very good still. 2 Colossus above and 3 Phoenixes, so it's not like he can pick up and run because the Phoenixes will just pick off the medevac. So definitely a favorable engagement there for MacSed, and he's going to try to counter across the map. Remember, he still has that proxy pylon across the field, so he can reinforce his army as he goes forward.
He knows about the 3rd base of STC. The 3rd base can't be lifted as it's only halfway done constructing.
Oh, no.
MacSed could easily just force a cancel there.
That SCV is like terrified right now. He really wants to get done so he can just get out of that moment. He knows it's going to be contested fairly soon, and it is. That pylon very close. STC not really posturing his army in this location, even sending some SCVs over there. I'm a little bit worried. STC has no idea where his opponent's army is.
And he doesn't. He's afraid if he moves out, he could get punished like he just did.
Finish? Is it gonna finish?
He's got to be able to finish that and then lift it up and get away.
Barely finishes it, and the SCV dies a second later.
Well, it may not get away, though. There's a Void Ray there with some Phoenix.
Oh, good point.
And STC doesn't have the units to engage us. Not with Colossi range, that many Zealots in the way.
And the Phoenix will take it out, even if it goes into airspace. That command center is dead. 1 Colossus overextending a little bit. The Bio turning around, targeting him down. Not going to be kiting away, but the Phoenixes and Colossus look like they're just going to be too much. MacSed up 128 to 101 in supply. Marines and Marauders melting absolutely everywhere. Zealots leading the charge, taking all that damage, while the Colossus get the damage done from the back, and the Phoenixes take out the medevacs up in the air. MacSed looking so good in this game 3.
Oh man, there's too much Protoss here. Both Colossi are still alive. The Vikings just die instantly to the superior count of the Phoenix here. And now he's even going for a natural. He's not happy to kill
it's
a 3rd.
Done deal. He wants to win this game right now, and I think he's going to do it. Again, so much stuff. Army supply should be ridiculous. Yeah, 90 to 45 in favor of Mr. MacSed. STC trying to desperately hold. Remember, it was a match where he won game 1, but now he's on the verge of losing 2 in a row and dropping down to the losers match somewhere you don't want to be. Remember, the STC came from the round of 16 Premier League, barely losing 1-2 to Moonglade to drop down to the Challenger League bracket stage, and now he's on the verge of dropping down to the losers match of this Challenger League group stage.
The Hill scrappy 4th, but STC tries to make a last stand, but the Zealots are just too many. GG from STC. MacSed takes that 2-1.
What a great series to start things off here. I was entertained by that series.
I love MacSed's Phoenix Colossi style, and he plays it so well. MacSed, one of the top players from China. We're going to see him in the WCS America Premier League of Season 2.
Is that automatic now?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
No, sorry, no, it's not. Sorry.
Yeah,
we're going to see him advance to the winners match.
Winners match.
Yes, with one more.
If he wins in the winners match, then he'll be guaranteed in that Season 2.
Actually,
Nick getting a little bit too excited.
he's automatically in either Challenger
top 3.
or he's on top 3,
which is important. He's automatically in Season 2 of WCS America. But yeah, no, really cool play. I like the double Oracle little push with the Stalkers. When his opponent only had 1 bunker, it's like a period of time as a Terran player where you're starting to prepare because usually you're going to be the aggressor onto the Protoss who's teching up. But MacSed, really cool style there, incorporating the 2 Oracles, focusing down the bunker, a bunker that was pretty far away from the mineral line, so the SCVs can't necessarily get there in time to repair. And I think that was pretty much the momentum shifter as far as giving MacSed control of that game.
It was. I mean, STC just took too many SCV losses.
Yeah.
And so even though he tried to get a second starport, he never could produce many bio units.
Right.
And then he kept losing bio units in some of his aggressive moves that MacSed just totally countered.
Yeah, a great play there from MacSed. He's going to be advancing to the winners match of this group play. Coming up next, guys, we're going to have Ghost User versus Heart. You're watching WCS America. Stay tuned.